Hi, it's Tom Russell live in Carlisle along with Michael Brown, Corvette expert. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here all the way from Texas.
Yeah.
And this is a big, big weekend in Carlisle. It is Corvettes at Carlisle. You are no stranger to that, my friend.
I am, and not a stranger to it. I love it. First off, I got to say, as meteorologist, I know you take a lot of criticism when the weather's bad.
That's true.
So today, I hope you're taking credit. It's been a perfect weekend.
You know, it's so nice. These Carlisle events are so important because sometimes you only have one weekend all year, and it has to be a success. Weather is a big part of that. So.
I've been here many times when it wasn't this nice.
All right, I wanted to talk to you so much because you fell in love with the Corvette, what, 30-some years ago?
I did, longer than that. I was in high school, Tom, and I'm really dating myself, but I was a junior in high school when the '63 Corvette came out. It was called the split window coupe.
Yeah, the back end of the split.
First year you could get a coupe. It was the 10th anniversary car, and I said, someday I'm going to have one of those. It took me 22 years for that day to arrive when I could find one that I could afford, but I've had it 30 years now.
And you still have it?
I still have it.
All right, now Michael has this amazing, what do you call it? They call it a garage, but I got on your website, hookedonvets.
Hookedonvets.com.
Okay, if you go there, it's literally a look in his garage, but I got to warn you, it's not a garage, it's a museum.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. I love Corvettes, and when I bought the first one, I had no friends in the hobby. Back in Texas, I just knew that Carlisle, Pennsylvania, wherever that was, is where you go when you want to.
So even in Texas, Carlisle is known.
Absolutely. We knew about Carlisle, and so I haven't missed too many years in the last 30 or so.
Well, it's an amazing thing to have an enthusiast like you. What is it about the Corvette that people are drawn to?
You know, I'm asked that many times, and I always say you either like Corvettes or you don't. But if you do, you really, really do. And there's just something intrinsic about it. We all say Corvette is the only true American sports car, and I think that's true, even to this day.
Well, we're here because in just a couple of minutes, all kinds of Corvettes are going to come parading down here. It's the 25th annual parade.
I know, I was thinking about that earlier. 25 years ago tonight, you got to think there were probably a bunch of Corvette enthusiasts driving their brand new 1990 Corvette. Here
wow.
25 years later.
That kind of makes me feel old. So coming up this hour, we got a couple of things we're going to get into. We're going to talk about Corvettes through the years, how they changed, how the performance has changed.
Yeah, it has changed. We started with 6-cylinder Corvettes with the very first one in '53. Then by the 70s, we were into the third generation. The cars were bigger, but we had just come out of the Arab oil embargo, so horsepower dropped almost down to 200.
Right, and that was a big deal back then.
Now we're 650.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We're also going to talk with Chip Foose. You got a chance to catch up with him.
Yeah, Chip, who most people know from his very successful show, Overhauling. Really nice guy. His first time to Carlisle and to Corvettes at Carlisle. So I think you'll find that interview interesting.
The great thing about Carlisle is it draws some of the top people, both in GM and in particular Corvette. So we're going to talk to some of the folks involved with making a Corvette.
Also had a chance to talk with Harlan Charles, who, as you mentioned, in that GM group. He's the Corvette product manager, very knowledgeable guy, young guy. Full of new, fresh ideas, some of which have been incorporated into this very car we see behind.
You see right here, because you know, the Corvette is big on the racing circuit, and the things that they test on the racetrack end up in the production car, which is really, really cool. The other thing I want to emphasize is the feel of this. It's a very American event, wouldn't you say?
It is all American, and thankfully the guys, Lance Miller and Bill Miller Jr. and Bill Miller III and their staff have emphasized that. We've had veterans on stage that were sworn in. I'm not veterans, but we had some veterans, but some brand new
military
recruits.
Yeah.
So it's a very patriotic thing. Corvettes in America and apple pie, the whole thing is here.
It just feels great to be in Carlisle, and Carlisle is such a great backdrop for that in particular, because as we stand here, there's so much history, and you've been coming to Carlisle for years. You know,
and one of the first times I came, I went to Gettysburg, which is not that far
right down the road,
here.
right?
But the Carlisle Barracks and Jim Thorpe, there's so much history here. And of course, this whole event is a coordination between the Downtown Carlisle Association and the guys out at Corvettes at Carlisle, so it's a beautiful venue to do a parade.
And that's one of the things we want to emphasize this hour as you watch not just Carlisle and not just the Corvettes, but the surrounding area and all that Cumberland County and the Valley has to offer.
A lot to offer and a lot to cover in the next hour.
It's going to be fun doing it with you, Michael, because you have such a unique perspective on the car in particular. Is there something you're looking forward to seeing in the parade? Is there, I mean, 63 obviously.
Yeah, obviously, but But the thing to look forward to is the total variety. You'll see some of every generation. We're now 3 years into the 7th generation, so there's going to be every color, shape, class, so it's exciting.
It is going to be really exciting. As a matter of fact, we want to get this thing kicked off. We want you to talk about and show you, in particular, an American flag made of Corvettes. Let's send it out to Mike Garland.
I'm with Lance Miller, co-owner of Carlisle Events and the event manager for Corvettes at Carlisle. Lance, let's talk about this flag. What all goes into this?
A lot of time and energy, and of course, the patience of the people that own the cars.
Now, we have to obviously cover the red Corvettes, the white Corvettes, the blue Corvettes, but we slip in some gold ones as well, right?
And some silver for a pole.
Okay, so how many? We're talking like 150 or so?
Yeah, 150 plus Corvettes will be in this display.
And this is, the first time since 2010 we've done this, and what's the history? When did this begin?
The history really was, I woke up early one morning. I'm talking about 3 o'clock, you know, and I woke up my wife and I said, I had the best dream ever. And that's what it was. It was building an American flag out of Corvettes. What's better? Americana, man.
How many times does this make? Is this 3?
This is the 3rd time we've done it.
And the process for people that may want to get involved when we do this in the future, it's basically an application, a submission process, correct?
Exactly. They submit online, they send a picture of their car, and then we make sure it's the appropriate color and what have you. And again, it's a lot about the patience of the owners.
And as this plays out today, we expect, again, 150 or so Corvettes. You've got the owners from, all across the country that are part of this display, right?
Exactly, and the neat thing is it's each generation Corvette, which is pretty neat too. So again, it just hits the Americana theme. I just love it, you know, it's a dream come true, truly. I mean, that's the neat part. Literally, you have a dream and you build it, and what better way to do it right here at Corvettes of Carlisle.
What kind of feedback do you hear on this?
People love it. That's the neat part. Every year they're like, hey, let's do it again, let's do it again. And of course, you know, as a staff team, it's tough. It's very tough. But then they see the picture and they're like, I get it. It's neat to be a part of.
Speaking of the picture, that's something that will be available through the Flickr account of CarlisleEvents.com. It's something we'll push out on social media as well, correct?
We'll have it all over the place, absolutely.
All right, well, if you want to get a copy of the Corvette flag picture, you can follow CarlisleEvents.com in the coming months and enjoy the American flag Corvette display at the 2015 Corvettes at Carlisle show.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Well, the action is picked up here, so Michael, it looks like our parade is ready to go.
That's not thunder, is it?
No, good point, good point. So, Michael, I was thinking, why don't you see if you can show us some of those cars up close and personal?
You know what, Tom? I bet I can find a man or woman willing to talk about his or her Corvette.
You think?
Yeah, I'll try.
All right, you go do that. Next up, we want to check in with Lance Miller of Carlisle Events. Lance is going to kind of give us a Corvettes 101, take us through the years. He's with a first generation car and the latest generation car. Hey, Lance.
The C1 Corvette is the very first generation, and it goes all the way, well, actually here's the C1 right behind me, all the way to the C7 right next to it. So you've got quite a few generations in between, obviously, 7 of them in total. And as you can tell, these cars are a little bit archaic, but at the same time, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous. They have that just beautiful curve line. It all started in 1953, and believe it or not, it was a 6-cylinder at the time. All other Corvettes thereafter were 8 cylinders. And the neat thing about these cars, like I said, were certainly the designs. Certainly people just love it whenever they see it. If you take it out and drive it, it's not the best driving car, but it's fun, I'll tell you that. The car was truly built all on style. It was all about the style of the car. And then a couple years later, somebody jumped in and said, you know what, I can make this car more powerful, make it really fun, give it some spunk. And that was Zora Arkus Duntov. You have 2 incredibly talented people at GM that created this car. 1 on the style, 2 on the power. And it was neat to see it all come together once they put in the V8. People could stomp on the throttle and boom, push it back in the seat. And then we go all the way to the C7. What a magnificent car. I was lucky enough to drive one all summer. That car has just about every piece of technology you'd ever want to have in a vehicle. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I played with it all. Every time you get in it, you're gonna have fun. It turns perfect, it stops super quick, and the power, man, it's unbelievable.
Hey, thanks, Lance. This awesome parade continues behind me. You can hear the engines revving. I am loving it, the parade right here in downtown Carlisle. Earlier today, we caught up with Chip Foose. It's his first time at Corvettes at Carlisle. I couldn't believe it. Michael Brown caught up with him earlier today.
I get to just create other people's dreams and enjoy doing it.
One guest who is already drawing long lines is a man you likely know from his work on the very successful television program Overhauling. You came by your interest in automobiles quite young, I've read, and quite naturally. Tell me about that.
Well, my father did the same thing and still does. He's 82 years old and he's working on cars every day. But I started going to the shop with him when I was 7 years old and started painting when I was 9 and worked with him for 15 years before leaving and going to Art Center College of Design. So I have an industrial design degree specializing in automotive. I thought I'd be working for one of the big 3 manufacturers and that hot rods would just be a hobby. But I ended up working with Boyd Coddington and was there for 8 years before he went bankrupt. And with all the lessons I had learned working with my father and another shop where we developed patentable ideas for the automotive industry and then licensed them, I thought, I'm going to do that in the hot rod world. So I started the wheel company first, got the royalties coming in. Then I did the hot rod shop, which was just a marketing tool to promote the brand.
When you sit down to redesign or design a car, as in overhaul it, do you see it in your mind first, or does it start to reveal itself when you put pencil on pad?
It's different almost every time. I never know where I'm going to go. All of my decisions are based on the information that somebody's telling me that they think this car should be, and I'm just applying my tastes, shall we say, to what I'm drawing and trying to build their dream car the way that I can see it possibly being the best car we can build for them.
I asked this question partially in jest, but have you ever looked at a purely stock car as it came from the manufacturer and said, I love this, I don't want to change it?
There's a lot of cars I look at that way, and that's Duesenbergs and some of the older cars, even the new cars, they're absolutely beautiful, but what I love about production cars is there are so many of them that just changing one isn't going to make a difference. But I like to create things that people have not seen yet. And the ultimate compliment to me is when somebody looks at a car that I've done and they say, I don't remember this car being this beautiful. I don't want them to know what I'm doing or what I've done right away. That's just slapping them in the face. Like, you know, putting big flares on a car is just, you know, when you see it, you see what somebody's done. I want to do subtle things that they don't realize what it is that makes that car more beautiful.
Final question, we're at a Corvette show. I know you have at least a couple of Corvettes. Tell me about your affinity to whatever level it is for Corvette.
My first memories of Corvettes are the cars that my dad had built and I was building with him. And then we had a 71 that we had done quite a bit of work to. It was actually the, shall we say, the opening spread of Motor Trend in 1973, and it said the first 74 Corvette. Because all the modifications that we had done to it were very close to what the factory was doing. And I remember that like it was yesterday. But we also had done several cars that were in Hot Rod Magazine and whatnot through the years. But my first Corvette was a 57 that I had in 1984, 2 years after I graduated high school. Loved that car. My roommate wanted it, so I sold it to him, and he never did anything with it. I always tried to get it back, but he wouldn't sell it. And I ended up getting a 53 from West Rydell. I thought it was a 54 when I bought it. And then I blew it apart, I started working on it, and one of my neighbors, Steve Levisi, who's, you know, a Corvette expert, he came over, he says, I thought you told me you had a 54. And I said, yeah, that's it. And he says, no, this is a 53. And he pointed out a few things. So I don't know what the number is on it, but I know it's an early 54 because all the parts are still 53 parts.
That's the best kind of corrected mistake you could ever have. Hey, listen, I know there's people waiting to talk to you. It's your first time at Corvettes in Carlisle.
First time, looking forward to it.
Enjoy what you can.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time.
Pleasure to see you, Mike.
Thank you.
How about that? Chip boost in Carlisle. This really is a big deal for downtown Carlisle. I mean, look behind me here. Earlier today, I caught up with Mike Hurley from the Downtown Carlisle Association. All right, this is a big parade, a very special one you were telling me about.
This is the 25th anniversary of the Downtown Carlisle Corvette Parade.
25 years, how many cars are going to be in it?
We have 550 cars registered, the largest number that we've ever had registered for the parade, as well as for the street party afterward.
I love that. All the cars just park and you got every generation of Corvette. It's just an amazing event. So bringing all these folks to Carlisle, obviously that's a boom for downtown businesses, right?
But it gives a lot of exposure to our merchants and to our restaurants in the downtown area. People that aren't from Carlisle get an opportunity to see and visit and spend time actually just walking the streets, looking at the Carlisle, cars and enjoying dinner.
And it really is a boom for the businesses. You were up earlier at the fairgrounds. Did you find a Carlisle car or a Corvette car?
I found a new car that I like. I'm not sure my pocketbook liked it as well, but it was a fantastic car. And we're going to have a lot of those on the street.
We're going to see them right here. So check it out. It is a great night for a parade.
You're watching Corvettes at Carlisle.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride. Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier story. Oh my gosh.
This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
I'm Brandy Proctor in downtown Carlisle. Joining us now is Mike Hurley, president of the Downtown Carlisle Association. Hi, Mike.
Good morning, Brandy, and welcome to downtown Carlisle. We're so excited to have you for the day.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Now, it is a lot going on down here.
There is. Carlisle downtown is really growing. A lot of things that are taking place. We're very glad that the Downtown Carlisle Association is an important part of that. Formed 30 years ago, the Downtown Carlisle Association is one of the oldest Main Street programs that's been in continuous operation.
Wow. So there's kind of something for everybody here, right? I saw some stores, some restaurants.
There is. We have had a tremendous number of new businesses and new restaurants open in the last couple months. 4 restaurants alone have opened in the last several months. The Brick Kitchen and Bar, Au Gratin Bistro, Spoons Restaurant, which features specialty soups in downtown Carlisle, as well as Molly Pitcher, a craft brewery, just opened up.
Okay, so I can also swipe my credit card over there as well.
You can. We've had multiple new businesses that have opened over the last couple months. Some of those are very exciting. The Greatest Gift on North Hanover Street, Miss Ruth's Time Bomb, the Harmony Society, and Georgia Lou's Retro Candy. The Downtown Carlisle Association sponsors numerous events throughout the year. We hold First Friday events every first Friday of the month from May until October. At the end of September, we have our large Harvest of the Arts craft show in downtown Carlisle, which takes up 4 blocks and is about 180 juried artists and craft vendors.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So it's family friendly too.
It is. A lot of things for the kids to do.
So all over Central PA, people are now flooding to Carlisle.
Oh, the road network around here for Carlisle couldn't be any better with the Interstate 81 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike and Route 11. We're really starting to become a tourist destination for a lot of people.
Okay, so right up the road pretty much from anywhere. Something here for everybody, even all of you shopaholics out there. So I look forward to kind of hitting the town a little bit with Mike, and we want you to do the same thing. So you can get all of the information about downtown Carlisle by going right on our website. For now, back to you guys. We are going to go have a little fun.
Welcome back. You can hear the thunder. It's actually engines this time, but loving the parade behind us. Joining me now is Lance Miller of the Miller family fame, and if you know anything about Carlisle events, it is all about the Miller family, right? Welcome.
Oh, come on, it's all about the people behind us. Thanks.
Good point. Tell us about Chip Miller and what he was all about.
Well, my father was my best friend, mentor. I love all the noise behind me.
I know, it's great.
And truly, when I say he's the best friend,
he would love it too.
I know. Well, he's feeling it up in the sky. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2004, but he was my best friend, mentor, all around great guy. Everybody loved him. My friends absolutely adored him, and certainly I did too. And I didn't realize till later in life that truly, you know, I was just fortunate to have that bond, and I didn't know it till later.
That's so neat.
It hit me, yeah.
Well, he seemed to pass on a love of not just the cars, but of the community too. That's an important aspect.
Oh, without a doubt. We love doing the parade downtown. We know what's happening. You know, there's obviously people staying in different hotels, going to the restaurants and eating. You're having fun. That's what it's about.
Now, Chip Miller was more than just Chip Miller the dad. Now we've got the Chip Miller Foundation. Tell us what that's all about.
Absolutely. We started the Chip Miller Charitable Foundation promptly after my dad had passed away from amyloidosis. Very rare disease. Yeah. And like I said, it took my best friend, so we took it serious and we said, you know what, let's start the Chip Miller Charitable Foundation, raise awareness, raise funds, and have fun with it. And that's what my dad would have wanted, and I'm so thankful. You know, he's still making that footprint today.
Well, I was walking the grounds today, and I saw a car with his foundation and all the information. I'm like, that's what it's all about.
Oh,
so
I love it.
Tell us about how folks can help out.
Absolutely. Check out chipmiller.org. Again, chipmiller.org. And by all means, every penny counts.
That is awesome. What do you like best? I mean, the whole weekend, the parade, what really gets you?
What's my favorite? To tell you the truth, I go to the top of the hill on the fairgrounds, and there's a beautiful breeze. You look down and see just a sea of Corvettes, and it's gorgeous, and I just take a deep breath, and I am absolutely amazed, you know, at the smiles, the camaraderie, the friendship that goes around. That's what it's all about.
I have 3 daughters, and I saw you at the luncheon today, and your daughter came up and hugged you like 3 times while you were talking. Is she going to be a car nut or what?
Are you kidding me? She was in the burnout contest last night in a little Power Wheels car. I mean, it was awesome. And she was in the parade this evening with me. So yes, wow. She will be. And her middle name's Corvette.
Oh, do I love that.
Ella Corvette Miller.
How did you get your wife to go along with that?
Well, there's a little, you know, taking her fingers and bending them a little. No, she was actually good with it.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank you, Lance, and thanks for all the Miller family and everybody still so involved. We appreciate it.
We are so excited to be here. This is awesome. Life is so good because I'm doing what I love.
Love this guy. Lance Miller, thank you so much. All right, Michael Brown, our buddy, is out there. He's finding all kind of cool stuff. He caught up with the Corvette manager. Check this out.
You're at Corvettes at Carlisle and want to know the latest on the latest models of Corvette. You come to the Chevrolet tent and you seek out this guy. He is Harlan Charles, who is product manager for Corvette. Harlan, welcome as always to Corvettes at Carlisle.
Well, this is probably the biggest show we go to all year. This is the place to find out. People come to see what's new for 2016, and they get to meet our whole team, engineers from both Detroit and Bowling Green.
What are some of the refinements for 2016?
Well, for 2016, we realized since we had such big years the last 2 years, we did a lot of little things. We have 3 new design packages. We have this great C7R limited edition. We have new interior colors and features, new wheels, a lot of new ways to personalize your Corvette, as well as new technology like front cameras and Apple CarPlay.
Tell me about the front cameras, because I'm talking about the PDA, the personal display, which was introduced in 15?
Yeah, the performance data recorder.
Right.
That was introduced in 15, and that allowed.
That was kind of a brainchild of yours, was it not?
Yeah,
and a lot of other people.
And a lot of other people, but it was something I was really excited about. I wanted to bring kind of the virtual world into the real world, where you can see your own instant replay from your own track events, fun road events, kind of share your driving experiences and heroic moments with the world. So really, it's been a great feature and it's done really well. And this year, when I was talking about the front cameras, those are more for park. You know, right. You got the front, the carbon fiber, splitter.
You
want to protect that. Now
yeah.
you can see, like, it's a top-down view. And you can see virtually exactly how far you are away from the curb.
Great refinement. Will that be offered as an aftermarket, or can that be added to a year or 2 before that, before it came out? In other words,
really.
Can I get one?
Unfortunately,
so it's got to buy a new car.
You just got to get a 16. But yeah, it's because it's all integrated with the infotainment system, which is also new this year, and we have the Apple Car with phone projection. There's really a lot of refinements this year for the Corvette.
We're now 3 years into the rollout of the C7, and it continues to build. How long does it take? And I know all of the generations, some have been short, some have been long. Typically, how far ahead are you guys working on whatever lies in the future?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we're always looking at, as soon as you do the one, you're looking at what's the next generation going to be. And even, back in 05, when we did the 6th generation, I was on that team, we were thinking about this car, which ultimately didn't come out till 2014. So you're always thinking, you both think far in advance, and then we're also, one of the things that I work a lot on too is, every year, we want to have something special for Corvette every year, even if it's not an all-new model. Sure. So we work at those a few years out as well. So, we're always looking at 2, 3, 4 years ahead to a decade ahead.
Well, you guys continue to raise the bar for Corvette. It's always good to see you, and we'll look forward to what lies in the future.
Good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you, Harlan.
Hey, thanks, Michael. You know, this has been all about Corvettes and Carlisle, but through the show, I think we've tried to show you that it's more than that, too, because we've been able to talk about Greater Carlisle, the whole Cumberland Valley. So today, a little earlier, I was right along the streets of Carlisle, and I talked to my friend Mike Perry from the U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center. There's a link between all the Corvettes that we have here and the folks that find their way to the Army Heritage Center, right?
Well, in a couple ways. First, a lot of those Corvettes have been showing up in our parking lot over the past week.
That's great because they're from all over.
They are from all over, so it's a great way for us to promote the facility to a larger audience.
Right.
And also, GM played a great role in Army history, providing the Army with vehicles during World War II.
Really?
And since then, yes.
So General Motors had a hand in that. So now you got all these Corvette drivers, and I imagine a lot of these folks are also veterans too. There's an interest there.
Yes, I mean, in fact, if you look at the American flag that they're putting up on the hill today, that's a close link, and a lot of those are vets.
Wow.
Who are doing that, so it's a great way.
So it's a great way to reach our veterans. We're ready to tell the story one soldier at a time, right?
Yep, that's what we're trying to do at the U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center.
All right, check it out. It is a jewel in Carlisle.
I'm Brandy, here in Carlisle at the U.S. Army Heritage and Education Center. This is an awesome place. Joining me is Mike Perry.
Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Well, thank you.
This is more than a museum.
This is a museum, library, archives, educational center, outdoor heritage trail. It's a great place to come to.
I'm excited to be here. I've never seen anything like this before.
This is a World War I Renault tank. It was brought to this country, I believe, in 1916. It probably helped train our soldiers down at Gettysburg at Camp Colt.
Start me from the beginning. If somebody were to come here.
The gallery starts off with soldiers from the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, into Korea, Vietnam, and then Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and then the current conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. This place is to be experiential. So we have it so that especially kids they have a rifle range here, they have a parachute drop that they can go on, there's a bunker from the Korean War that gives them a simulated firefight, and then you also have the Vietnam helicopter experience. So it's really a place where kids can be engaged, at the same time their parents can read lots of stuff about the history of our Army and our soldiers.
And you said some of the things that are brought here actually came from soldiers' family members.
Our mission here, or the mission of the Army Heritage and Education Center, is to tell the soldier's story. And we do that through their artifacts and through their documents. So soldiers and their families donate these materials to us, we preserve them, and then eventually we put them out on exhibit. And we have one of the best collections of unit histories, which will allow someone who maybe knows what their ancestor did, what unit they belong to see if they can get real stories from that particular period of time.
Then we go outside into the bunker area.
And then outside we have a heritage trail. It has everything from a French and Indian War cabin. It has Redoubt Number 10 from the American Revolution. It's got a World War I trench line, Civil War cabins, a World War II company street, a great place for families to come.
So the best part, one of the best parts, because there are a lot of best parts here, but one of the best parts, this is totally free.
It is totally free and open to the public. It's open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5, and on Sundays from noon to 5.
So every day?
Every day this facility is open. The only thing that would close is the research center is closed on Sundays, but the rest of the facility, all the exhibits and the galleries are open.
Well, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for taking the time out to explain all of this. That's right. So that's what's happening out here. We invite all of you guys to come and get in on the fun. But until then, back to you guys.
You're watching Corvettes at Carlisle.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride.
Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier's story.
Oh my gosh. This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
Well, downtown Carlisle continues hopping as the parade comes to a little break here, but all these beautiful cars are just taking up the streets of Carlisle. Folks are milling around. It really is a party atmosphere. Incredible. Now, our very own Michael Brown caught up with a couple who has an unusual two-car collection.
Larry and Mary Lou Gilbert have been regular attendees at Corvettes at Carlisle for the last 10 or 12 years or so, and they're back again for 2015 with their beautiful matching pair of 57 turquoise Corvettes, his and her. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I gotta ask, which came first, the his or the her?
The his.
Okay, tell me about it, how you acquired it.
Well, it all started for me actually back in 1957.
Really? The year it was new?
The year it was new, and no, I did not buy it new. As a 12-year-old kid, I bought a book that had all of the new cars in it, and in that book was a 57 Corvette Cascade Green, and I said, I gotta have one of those. It only took me 47 years, but, and I raised family later, but I soon got it and found one that I could afford, and this is it right here.
It's a beautiful car. Now I said turquoise, which is the official.
Oh, I was going to correct you.
Hey, well, you should have. No,
it's Cascade
Green. I see more turquoise than green, but hey, I'll go with it. Now, aficionados will know that 57 was the first year that 4-speed and fuel injection were offered as options on the 57. This is a fuel injected, but that's not the original engine.
No,
Tell me about that.
L98 Album 91 Corvette.
Yeah. Well, it's beautifully done.
Tune port fuel injection.
Okay, Mary Lou, how did you acquire the hers side of this equation?
Well, it came out of a junkyard being used as a parts car. So when it came to the house, it was really ugly.
So the last of the romantics, Larry gives you a junker. Well, it's not a junker now. How long did it take to restore it?
We did it in eight months.
8 months.
Did you do much of it, the work yourselves, or you farm it out?
I did everything to it but paint it.
Well,
the local body shop sprayed the paint on it. I got it ready to paint, and they took care of the rest.
Do you trailer these to shows, or do you drive them?
Oh, we drive them.
Do you really? So you drove these here from Elkton, Maryland?
Yes, yes. About a 2.5-hour trip.
Yeah. Any chance you'd ever part with one or both?
Maybe when I die, but not anytime soon.
I don't blame you, and I completely understand. Hey, continued success with the showing of these beautiful, beautiful cars, and thanks for coming back to Corvettes at Carlisle.
Thank you.
Loving this here as the excitement continues, the crowd is building, and now the cars are actually parking all over downtown Carlisle. It's amazing. And I think Michael Brown has caught up with some car lovers, some Corvette fans.
We've linked up with Joe from South Carolina and his beautiful 67 Corvette. How long have you had this car, Joe?
5 years.
Now, this has the Stinger, it says 427. I got a peek under the hood a while ago. That's not the engine they came on at 67.
No, very little is 67. Just right here, the center of the bird cage is really 67. Everything else is.
What do you like about the styling of the C2s in general?
It's what was popular when I was in high school, and I just loved them. And I couldn't have one. And now I've got my daughters educated, and married, and gone, and
now
I can do it. I can do it now.
Have you been to Carlisle before?
No, just the first time.
Really?
My son-in-law has a 1-year tour of duty here in Carlisle with the Marine Corps. So we just came up for this show. I've always wanted to do it.
And you're doing the whole package, the parade. It's a lot of fun, isn't
it? It's great. The parade is worthwhile doing, to come up and do it.
Well, welcome to your first time at Carlisle. Beautiful car.
Thank you. Won't be our last.
Now, our own Michael Brown earlier on Friday was out talking to an expert Corvette mechanic.
Paul, how did you come to be an expert Corvette mechanic?
A lot of training from General Motors. I started working for General Motors in 1997, and the first Corvette rolled in 2 days after I started, and it needed some work, and I asked to start working on them, and I was very fortunate to have that opportunity.
The early generations. You open the hood of one of those cars, you see the spark plugs, you see the generator, you see the engine.
Yes.
Now you open the hood, it's a mass of computers, you barely can even see the engine. How do you stay on top of technology like that?
Well, the General Motors training has so much to do with it because their training standards are very specific in all areas, whether it's safety systems or engine control management or suspensions or really any part of Corvette.
What is in the future that you can talk about? I mean, is it going to continue to get more complex, and is that a good thing?
Well, I think it definitely is, but I suggest that when people look at Corvette, they look at the past. Look at the history of Corvette. You look at the evolution of the models. ZR1 started back in the early C3 days. Now it's back into the sixth generation, and how things evolve, engines evolve, transmissions evolve. Now we're at 8-speed automatics. The evolution history plays such a part in that. The newer generations are going to be phenomenal.
I know you've been doing this show for a number of years. How is Carlisle, Pennsylvania and Corvettes at Carlisle in comparison to other shows that you work? Is this a supportive community for them?
I think it's among the most supportive. Corvettes at Carlisle is really a show for everyone, whether it's young up-and-coming technicians or whether it's maybe young children who just love the look of Corvette, or you have people in their elder years who just always dreamed of having a Corvette and they're thinking about making the purchase. You find people from all walks of life and all years and ages come around one vehicle make that really is they're passionate about, they want to know more about, and let's face it, many people dream about it.
Well, I know everyone here appreciates your sharing your expertise, and we appreciate your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
We're in downtown Carlisle at the Market Cross Pub and Brewery. Joining us now is Miss Ashley Corby. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, Brandy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. Now, I'm excited just about everything I've seen here, a little bit of the history that you've been telling me about, so tell everybody.
Yes, I'll start way back in the beginning. We opened in 1994. We'll be celebrating our 21st year here in historic Carlisle. When Mom and Dad came to Carlisle, they did some research on the town to see what kind of business would fit. And they found out that Carlisle, Pennsylvania is the sister city to Carlisle, England. So at that time, what better place than an English pub? So they opened up Market Cross Pub. We like to really cater to all different types of people here. So we see bridal showers, bachelorette parties, rehearsal dinners, business luncheons, all kinds of things. It's really important for us to have a common place that people from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves. That's really the main theme of an English pub. So that's been important for us to advertise that and market that throughout the past 20 years.
So you said we can actually go check out the brewery?
Yes, I have it in the back. I'm going to give you a private tour. It's the hidden gem of Carlisle. It's really fun, and we might be able to sample some beer whenever we're done.
Okay, sounds like a party you guys get to come to. Let's check it out. So now we are in the back of the Market Cross Pub and Brewery. We're in the back where the magic happens. So Ashley, tell us who this guy is.
I promised you a tour, so I brought in the pub daddy, my dad, Jeff Goss, to give it to you.
Yes, and welcome to the brewery here. You're standing actually in front of the main brew house of our brewery, which is a nice little 10-barrel English system that we started brewing on about 2002.
So people can come here, they can get a tour of everything that goes on back here.
Absolutely, and come down, we do a tour, we'll do some tastings, some private tastings for them, and also some pairings if they want to have a special meal with some pairings.
Okay, so it's super exciting for all the beer novices like me to actually walk around and see what happens, and the experts will get a kick out of it too, and then they get to taste it when it's all said and done. Well, thank you guys so much for having us here. I do invite you to come in here as well, because Market Cross Pub and Brewery is definitely where the fun is. I'm gonna get into some of these barrels in just a little bit, but for now, back to you guys.
You're watching Corvettes at Carlisle.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride. Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier story.
Oh my gosh. This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
Hey, did you catch that? Yeah, Market Cross Pub and Brewery, one of the places I love here in downtown Carlisle. Hanging out this afternoon with Jeff. He was talking about what Corvettes means to the pub.
It's great. I mean, we're packed. Most of the restaurants are packed. Good news is all these people have to eat. And with us, the pub and the brewery, hopefully they can have a little nice little beer afterwards as well.
So you get all these folks from out of town. I bet if they find you early in the week, they come back again.
That's what we hope. Yeah, awesome. Get them back in the door.
All right. So with the cars and car folks, do you do a special car beer at your place?
Yes, we do. A couple years back, we started doing we did a Summer Stang Ale for the Mustang guys.
Right.
We've done a Corvette Blue for the Corvette show last year, and this year we did our Carburetor Kolsch, a nice German-style Kolsch beer for the summertime.
All right. Does anybody let you drive after you give them a nice meal?
Well, not after the beer. Not after the beer.
Good point. Good point. Check him out. He's right on the main drag in Carlisle, Market Cross Pub and Brewery. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Good to see you. The party rolls on here in downtown Carlisle. It was a parade of Corvettes, and now it's a parade of people around Corvettes as everything is really building here in downtown Carlisle. So speaking of that, there's so many businesses around here that have really benefited from the fact that all these folks are in town. And I was talking to some folks today. It's their very first Corvettes at Carlisle, and get this, their last name is Carlisle. I'm here with Carolyn and Tim and Catherine, and these guys have just embarked on a brand new life journey with a bed and breakfast. It's called the Carlisle House.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's a wonderful 10-room inn. It's a block and a half down the street.
So it's right in downtown Carlisle?
Yes, it's the only bed and breakfast in the borough of Carlisle.
So if you're into history, and Carlisle's full of history, this would be a good place to hang out.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So what do you love about it? I mean, this is a whole different thing for you. You left corporate America, you said, to do a bed and breakfast. What's that like?
We love meeting people from all over the world, and that's certainly been a very enjoyable part.
So on a weekend like this with Corvettes at Carlisle, what's that mean for your bed and breakfast?
We're full.
That's good, right?
Which is always a good thing. And we enjoy having the 9 Corvettes parked behind the building.
Oh, you got them lined up there.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you said bed and breakfast, so who's the food behind this operation?
Tim does most of the cooking
Really?
in the bed and breakfast.
Tim does all that.
And he's amazing.
Okay, what's it like day to day? I mean, what's it like running one of those?
It's never boring.
Really?
You think it may be the same every day you're cooking for everyone, but you never meet the same person twice, and it's wonderful.
So what's the most interesting person you've met? Like how far? You said all over the world they come from.
We have Brazil, China.
Really?
We've had a lot of people from
How'd they hear about you?
Australia, the internet,
really?
And the various avenues around town. Dickinson College, Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet,
oh, no
the
kidding.
Army War College. They all do very good advertising.
You know, this region is amazing, as I mentioned, with their history and with so many people at the Army War College. People come from all over the world,
Yes.
so this must be great. So Carlisle House, bed and breakfast, and right on the main drag here.
At 148 South Hanover Street.
That is awesome. So check it out, Carlisle House with Carolyn and the gang. Check it out with their bed and breakfast.
For Corvette enthusiasts, everything at Corvettes at Carlisle is fun. Hear that? But especially fun if you brought your own Corvette and want a chance to drive it at the autocross. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, we have someone here who is. Mike Lute, what is autocross?
Autocross is a low-speed event. 80 mile an hour is sort of top speed, or depending on the size of the course. There's cones set up in different positions for them to navigate through, and it is a timed event. Here at Carlisle, we do 2 laps around to get a time.
So who's eligible to do this?
Really anybody 18 or older is allowed to do it. They have to sign a waiver, and we charge a fee to do it here at Carlisle.
And the fee, as I understand, at least a portion of it, goes to a charitable event?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Cumberland Valley Corvette Club here in Carlisle donate at the end of the year proceed monies that we had raised for the autocrossing and any other events we do to different organizations for charity.
Who typically does this? Is it people who come from far and wide, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. We've been doing it here for years now. We see some of the same people, but we see new people every year. It's just a time for somebody that wants to just give it a try. It's a good course to do that.
Well, it sounds like a win-win. You got the Corvette enthusiasts who get to drive it and have fun, and there's also a benefit to it, right?
That's right, yes. Yeah.
How long has this been going on here?
Probably 10 years or so.
I know you're a resident of Carlisle. What does this show mean to the community?
I know a lot of people talk about the Corvette show in Carlisle. They can't wait till it comes because they see all the Corvettes all at one time, and it brings a lot of people into Carlisle to help the community along.
You're a Corvette enthusiast. What is it about Corvette?
I don't know. I guess it's sort of the age we were born in. It's something that came out when we were younger kids, and something we always wanted to have, and now that we're older we can have them. So, and it's just something, we do a lot of activities with them.
Yeah. Well, you're doing good, beneficial work. Keep it up.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the excitement of Corvettes in Carlisle continues. Stay with us.
Now we're in downtown Carlisle in an area called the Sohi Arts District. Joining us is Pat Craig from the Pomfret Group. Hi, Pat.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Now tell us about everything that we are seeing here on this block.
Everything here is the first block of West Pomfret Street, and we are a wonderful group. The Pomfret Group is dedicated to the revitalization of our neighborhood and downtown Carlisle, and we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay. Many of us live on this block.
Now tell me about the revitalization, because you guys weren't always this big.
No, we have been around for roughly 9 years. We started with 4 original members. We now have 11 members. We put everything pretty much that you see on our street. We put all the planters, the water collection urns are for our members to water their street front plantings and to create a very safe, green sense of neighborhood.
It's definitely a beautiful place, and I want to be here, not just because of that. Scenery is great, but I also saw a lot of little bling out there I'd like to see too.
Oh, we got a lot of bling.
What are some of the places that people can shop?
You can shop for all kinds of jewelry, vintage jewelry, new jewelry, artist pieces. You can shop for the arts. You can shop for pottery, handmade pottery from the Arts Learning Center, Polish pottery from one of our merchants. You can shop for your groceries. You can have dining experiences from cafes to wine shops to Italian to tea rooms. There's all kinds of things for just about everybody on the block.
Even kids.
Even kids. We have great programs at the Carlisle Arts Learning Center. They have a lot of programs for children to learn new arts, to share in the experience with other kids, to have art camps. And then Jack and Jill Interiors is new to our block, and they do a lot of interiors for nurseries.
So certainly something for everybody.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you have it covered out here. I'm going to check it out myself. I'm probably going to swipe my card a time or two. We're going to blame Pat for that one.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for showing us around. And so if you want to come check out the Pomfret Group, come on down. We will have all of the information available on our website. Back to you guys.
You're watching Corvettes at Carlisle.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride. Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier story.
Oh my gosh. This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
Well, Corvettes at Carlisle is such an important event, not just for Carlisle itself, but for the businesses and those folks that thrive here in downtown Carlisle. Let's check in with the Pomfret Group.
It does wonders for our business and the downtown. We spruce up the stores to get ready to shine. And then we have the customers who come in. It's one of the shows that the wife is usually along, so that always helps us.
So you try to get folks to your business, and it really gives you a chance to shine.
Yes, it does. Yes, we do a lot of sweeping and cleaning and watering and getting ready for the Corvette show.
Well, Pomfret and your group there, you guys have done so much. I know you have some fundraisers coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes, we have the beer crawl on October 3rd, and that's a lot of fun. That's like a wine walk, but only it's a beer crawl. It happens on the last day of the car shows in Carlisle.
That'll work perfect. So come on by and support some of the great folks of the Pomfret Group and all the great gang here in Carlisle. We hope you're enjoying this experience of Corvettes at Carlisle, and the excitement continues. Michael Brown is taking us up close and personal to one.
I'm going to ask you for your license. What's your name?
Nathan.
I'm sorry?
Nathan.
Nathan, whose car is it? Do you know whose car this is?
Absolutely not.
What do you like about this car?
It's a Corvette and it's really nice.
How old are you, Nathan?
Not 10.
10. So in about 5 or 6 years, you could legally drive this thing. Are you looking forward to that?
If I save up my money.
Save your money and drive carefully. They're very fast. Have fun at the show, okay?
And the excitement of Corvettes at Carlisle continues. Stay with us.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride. Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier story. Oh my gosh.
This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
Hey, I'm Brandy Proctor at the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Joining me is Kelly McGinley. We're in Boiling Springs. This is a beautiful backdrop for just about anything.
It is. We're standing right on the Appalachian National Scenic Trail, which runs through the historic village of Boiling Springs, right along Children's Lake. It's a beautiful setting for just about anything. There's weddings in the park on a pretty regular basis. There's hikers either going long distances or just down to the end of the lake. It's a great spot for family get-togethers, plenty of people walking their dogs or getting out with their children, just enjoying the outdoors.
So this is kind of like a truck stop maybe for the hikers, so they can stop here on their way?
It is. It's a field office, a regional office for the ATC. So we have a lot of conservation staff that work here, but it also sits directly on the Appalachian Trail. So it's an obvious stopping point for hikers doing long distance or doing sections. It's a great resupply town and just a great place to spend an afternoon too.
And people can come here and get information if they do want to start their family on the hiking trail.
They can. We have plenty of free brochures inside, day hikes, hiking 101, all of family-friendly hikes, all the things that you would need to feel safe going out on the trail, and plenty of knowledgeable staff to help give you lots of information beyond what's already printed.
So we're actually standing on the trail?
We are.
Okay, I did it! Okay. So people who want to be a part of it don't actually have to strap up their boots and get out there?
Not at all. Of the 2 to 3 million visitors to the Appalachian National Scenic Trail every year, only about 1% are the through hikers. So anybody's welcome on the trail, and we have such a great resource in this area especially, where you can take a 1 to 2 mile flat hike through the Cumberland Valley, or you can go the other way and take a flat hike and then up to Center Point Knob, a short hike up the side of the mountain, whichever appeals to you.
Okay, I like it. All right, so I can add this to my bucket list.
Sure can.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for being here with us. So if you want to be a part of all the fun, the beautiful atmosphere, and hey, maybe even walk or hike the trail if you're adventurous, we will give you all of that information. But for now, back to you guys.
Well, with Corvettes as our backdrop, it's been great to learn all about not just Carlisle, but also Cumberland County. I want you to check in with Kelly and see what she has to say about the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. Here with Kelly for the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and a big day like Corvettes at Carlisle, Cal, means a lot to you guys because it's more than just Carlisle.
It is. We hope that when folks come out for the Corvette show that they'll stay for a night or two, and just a mile in either direction and you're on the Appalachian National Scenic Trail.
Do people realize that? I mean, it's so close.
Well, if they don't, there's a visitor center right in Boiling Springs, just about 5 minutes from here. You can find any of the dozens of access points just around the area and get out for just an hour or a full day.
And not only can they stretch their legs, but amazing views here too.
Absolutely. There's 14 miles of flat, beautiful scenery in the Cumberland Valley and then mountains on either side.
Each and every year you guys do some amazing events too, right?
We do. We have our annual family hiking day every year, which is free and open to the public. We hope families will get out and enjoy the trail themselves.
Awesome. Check out Kelly and check out the Appalachian Trail so close to Carlisle. Well, you just gotta love Corvettes, but it's one thing to kind of walk around and admire them. It's quite another when you get a chance to drive one. Well, here we are in beautiful downtown Carlisle once again, and let me step out of the way and show you this beautiful machine. It is a brand new Z06, and of course the man behind the wheel is my friend Mickey. How are you?
Hey, Tom. I'm fantastic.
Mickey's from H&H Chevrolet Cadillac in Shippensburg. So do you have a lot full of these beautiful things or what?
We would love to. We would have a lot. They have a whole fairground full of
right
these
up the road,
cars.
yeah.
The car is a stunning automobile.
It is.
It's a world-class car. It's got the most horsepower, and it's the best value out there. So everybody's got to come down to H&H and get themselves a new Corvette Stingray.
Well, in Shippensburg, that is the place to grab your Chevrolet and your Corvette. So a day like today where there's so many Corvettes around and there's so many enthusiasts for this car, what's it like? What's it do for you guys?
Well, it's very exciting because it brings a lot of energy into the community.
Yeah.
Here at the fairgrounds in Carlisle, we're 18 minutes away in Shippensburg, PA. And it brings a lot of enthusiasm. We have some cars there on stock, and so the traffic driving by, it's like a magnet. It just pulls everybody right in. Very exciting.
You ever have somebody come down and say, okay, I want to upgrade today?
We like that, upgrade today. And we're there till 4 o'clock, so you better hurry and get there.
always selling cars. So Mickey, you were saying that this is really a performance vehicle. I mean, this is the creme de la creme of Corvettes.
It's a supercar. And this car, for $95,000, has every bit of the performance as a $375,000 McLaren.
Wow.
The same track times, the same horsepower, the same torque, and you can get it fixed right here in Shippensburg at our dealership.
Okay, and here in Carlisle, we have this. We run the gamut of, way back in '63, the first couple ones. What's your favorite year of a Corvette?
Well, my favorite year of the Corvette is probably that mid-years, the 63, 64, 65. You got the split window, you got the big block motors. Although the one that I decided to buy for my personal car is a Z06.
Wow.
So this is the granddaddy right here.
All right, I hate to put you on the spot. Can we go for a run?
Let's go for a ride.
Let's do it. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, so driving this thing, obviously you got so much power, but you also have a lot of different modes you can drive in. Touring, street, track.
Yeah, there's a weather mode, economy mode, touring, sport, track. I am in touring mode right now. And then this has the new 8-speed automatic transmission.
Wow.
Stunning transmission. It turns faster track times with the automatic than anybody can with the
manual.
with the manual.
Yeah.
However, if you do want to get engaged and really feel more involved, it does have the paddle shift. All right, now we have Tom.
Now we have a little driver switcheroo.
Now we've got Tom at the controls. 650 horsepower, 650 pounds of torque.
Straight ahead here?
Yes, sir. A little bit more. Now hit it. Oh my gosh. Awesome.
That is a rush.
I love that. That smile on your face is priceless.
That was like a rocket shot.
You're watching Corvettes at Carlisle.
People from all different backgrounds can come to enjoy themselves.
Such a great resource in this area especially.
Let's go for a ride.
Tremendous number of new businesses.
And we are all about making this a fabulous place to dine, to shop, to work, to play, to stay.
Our mission here is to tell the soldier story.
Oh my gosh. This region is amazing.
It's never boring.
Carlisle downtown is really growing.
A huge thank you to our sponsors.
Well, Michael Brown joins us once again, and Michael, you've been hard at work. I mean, seeing all these cars.
Hey, it is work, but it's fun too. You don't get a bunch of Corvette people and Corvettes together and have grumpy people. It's a fun group.
All right, well, I got to put you on the spot. You're a 30-year guy with Corvettes. How does this experience stack up for you?
I think this has to be as close to a perfect weekend, weather-wise, attendance-wise.
That's true.
I do think we should not wait another 25 years before we do another parade.
I think you agree with that for sure. Well, this is the deal. It happens each and every year, so don't wait to experience this for yourself. And for that matter, don't wait to experience all that Carlisle and the Cumberland Valley has to offer. It is just amazing. And every time I come here, I always experience and see something new. So I'm looking forward to that. So we thank you so much for joining us for this adventure of Corvettes at Carlisle.